Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and in this video we're going to be talking about some recent articles about Final Fantasy 15 and its direction for 2017. It's rare that we have to talk about this for some sort of single-player game, but we've already known that Final Fantasy 15 had a long roadmap past its launch that we were going to be following throughout the year. Now, I'm going to Nova Chrysalis for these articles right now. I've seen them on a bunch of websites, but once again, be sure to click on the links in the description. Go give them the hits. Go give them the love. They put out a lot of great articles, and those are the articles, 3 of them, I'm going to be using for this video today. So, first and foremost, Final Fantasy 15 news is going to start rolling out very, very quickly here in the new year. For January 2017, or at least we can propose that since it says it's called the Active Time Report New Year Special, they're doing an ATR. One of these I didn't know if we'd be getting after the game actually launched, even though they expressed some interest in it in the last ATR before the game launched of doing it afterwards, since there is DLC and a content roadmap for them to follow. It's good to know that we are going to be having one of these. So the Active Time Report New Year Special will feature a New Year's greeting and additional information, likely covering the recent roadmap provided for the game. If you guys don't know about that roadmap, free updates to affect the later half of the game, new fully voice-acted cutscenes, limited time mobs, and things like the Chocobo Moogle Carnival, which, by the way, has been confirmed for a January 24th release date. Same day as a couple other RPGs, Kingdom Hearts 2.8, Tales of Berseria. Luckily, it's a Carnival, it's a free event, but I'm assuming it's limited time. So I'm actually going to prioritize the Carnival and like Kingdom Hearts 2.8 over everything else. So we'll see what actually ends up happening there. Now, a date has not been given for this broadcast. However, with the 30th anniversary broadcast happening at the end of the month, we should probably expect it before then. It is supposed to be a New Year special, and doing it in January, kind of the first month of the new year. Probably a good time. But we can hopefully get some more information about that. But we don't even have to wait that long because he's already begun detailing certain things in an interview with Famitsu. Hajime Tabata talks about the game's reception, about some of the improvements they want to make, and about some of the new content they want to put out in 2017. So first and foremost, they want to increase, and this is very specific, the scale and comfort in the latter part of Final Fantasy 15. Now, we knew they wanted to add new cutscenes for certain characters that were underappreciated throughout the story, and that they also specifically wanted to increase the fun factor of Chapter 13. Part of those changes was included buffing the Ring of the Lucii. What we know, we don't know exactly what it's going to be just yet, but he again says the scale of it. And there's a lot of things scale-wise, I think a lot of us would agree, especially with a lot of the out-of-bounds videos that have been popping up lately, that we'd like to see in those updates. And those are supposed to be the free updates to the game, by the way, that he's commenting on. These are not paid updates that we're talking about right this second. Hopefully, they'll be giving us more information. And he said that fans can expect changes, information on those changes soon, specifically regarding the roadmap, which is why we have to assume that the Active Time Report will be covering that. In terms of content, they want to add limited time mob hunts based on enemies from the original story as DLC. Again, these are free DLCs, just to be clear. Now, if it's limited time mob hunts based on enemies from the original story, I have to imagine there are certain bosses that people would like to explore as a much harder version. It seems that that is the idea that we're going with here, because I can't see them really going and adding like low-level hunts into the game later. So I'm not going to say the names of any characters whom we might see these kind of hunts for, but keep your eyes out for that. Now, don't worry, I'll be doing videos whenever we do have a limited time mob hunt. I'll be announcing it, I'll be showing a video of how to beat it, and hopefully you guys can get it done. On top of that, they've heard that fans want to travel with some of the minor characters such as Iris and Arnea, which people are already doing thanks to the glitch, and they also want to see if they can do that as well. If they can get those characters officially inducted as minor characters into the party. So it'd be nice to have that, but it's something we've kind of been expecting with a lot of the news about the playable characters coming in the multiplayer DLC, which, by the way, is the next thing that's mentioned here. In 2017, Final Fantasy 15 is going to be getting an online expansion pack, something that's not very normal for a single-player game. But they said that it's a multiplayer thing, obviously, and it's going to include characters like Noctis, Ignis, Gladiolus, and Prompto, and in an interview that I did a video for, I think about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks at this point, we know that Iris, Aranea, and Core are also on the definitely going to be playable in that DLC list. They also want to potentially get Luna Freya to be playable, but that's unconfirmed at this point if they will have it done in time. They're also planning on adding an avatar system where you can make your own character. And apparently, that's not exclusive to the multiplayer. I was under the impression that that was exclusive to the multiplayer. They want to see if they can make it possible for the main scenario, for like the main game. I don't know how to really receive that, but it says perhaps in the main story, the avatar character will join your companions, but only their appearance will change. So basically, imagine the whole story and they still refer to everyone by name, Noctis, Ignis, but you're literally just completely changing their appearance. Considering how underwhelming the outfit system was in the game, like there's barely any outfits that you can really change to, maybe this is another way of sort of enhancing that experience. But it's gonna be really weird if I have like some dude with like green skin and like Ignis is talking to me and calling that guy Noctis. It's gonna be really weird. So we'll see what actually ends up happening. They're investigating it, but there's no guarantee they will do it. And of course, we have episode Gladio, episode Ignis, and episode Prompto. Those are going to be releasing this year. But what's interesting is they say they want to make sure that the story changes depending on how you play the DLCs. So whereas in original Final Fantasy 15, you are given decisions and they do change the cutscenes, but they don't ultimately change the story. And these things, it sounds like they want replayability. So people feel the desire to go back and look for multiple endings or look for multiple ways for that story to play out, which is fine. It's a mediocre way of, in my opinion, doing replayability, because you're still doing the same exact content over and over again just to get to that. But if that's what they want to go with, I'll still probably play it repeatedly anyway just to see all the endings. So it works, you know. But it won't have any bearing on the game's main quest, so don't expect it to be like, oh, well, you had this ending in the DLC, so it changes your main story. That's not going to be how it was, although I would absolutely welcome that. He also said that talking about VR, I remember them revealing episode Prompto with VR capabilities back when it was supposed to launch in October. They can't really talk about it much, but they want to do some VR stuff for Final Fantasy 15. No surprise there. We were kind of already under that impression when they revealed episode Prompto and they showed the first-person VR gameplay for it. But we'll see what actually ends up happening. One final article that I want to go over real quick. Final Fantasy 15 is also going to be at GDC. It is going to have a panel called Bringing Fantasy to Life in Final Fantasy 15. Attendees will be joined by lead writer and localization director Dan Ino as he focuses on the concept of a fantasy based on reality. Very specifically, the localization director will be there. And I know a lot of people have different opinions of the way localization is done, especially when it was done for Final Fantasy 15. I am very intrigued in this panel and hearing what comes out of it just for that reason. So hopefully it will be a decent panel. And it's going to be focusing on Prompto's photography, interactive music, behind-the-scenes look, and I'm interested. It'll take place sometime between February 27th and March 3rd at GDC, but we don't know when exactly on those days. But anyway, some exciting Final Fantasy 15 news to start off the year. I don't know about you guys, but I'm looking forward to the Carnival on January 24th, and hopefully we'll have some news about episode Gladio's release date and this ATR as soon as possible. But anyway, let me know about what you think. Tell me what you think about what you heard in this video. And again, go over to Nova Chrysalis, give them some love for putting out these articles in a very timely fashion. But on that note, everyone, I've got some other videos to record. Put your thoughts in the comment section of the video below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care.